Hello, this is the Breast One Healer Tarot. This is a storyline reading for a couple who actually starved the baby. So we have Cali Anderson that weighed 16 pounds. When she was finally found, she was starved to death and mistreated and abused by her stepmother, and her father allowed it. Even if he didn't do anything physically, he allowed it, and he neglected his child by working 2 jobs, going to school, and not really giving the child attention that she needed to have. And then when he was around, he allowed his wife to make decisions and wear the pants in the house and do different things as far as giving orders, disciplining his child because it wasn't her child. She was the stepmother. So she was drugging it out all the time, drugging and sleeping. So she barely was feeding the baby and constantly punishing her. I think after one time she put her in the dog's cage and had her in the bathroom. And that's where she was having this little 5-year-old girl, Cali. So let's just go and I'm trying to see. The father name is, I don't want to say his name wrong. Is he Tyler? I don't want to say his name wrong. Let me see if I can find his name. Because the stepmother's name is Averyauna Enoch. And the father's name is, I think it's Tyler. I just need to see it. Where's his name? We got baby Cali Anderson, 5 years old. And Miss Enoch is found guilty of starving this baby because she is home with her at all times. Okay, the father, she weighed 16 pounds when discovered. Okay, let's see. And I think the father's name is Tyler, though. I just did this storyline yesterday, but it seemed like they holding back on his name. I think it's Tyler, though. His name should be front and center. He is the father. Okay, he is. Tyler Anderson was arrested May 16th. Okay. He had his little girl. He went and put his little girl on. He had his little girl in his car for 2 weeks in the trunk. Then eventually, because I guess she was smelling in the house or smelling in a car, whatever they said. But then eventually he put his baby in the storage unit that he owns, that he have, and had her inside some container inside of a duffel bag. He was disconnected from his daughter because his daughter was given to him from the courts, taken from her mother because I think her mother attempted suicide or what was going on with her real mother, right? Her biological mother. So the courts gave the baby over to the father. That really didn't help because that was a dysfunctional home there because he wasn't even there with his own child. And when he came home, he really didn't pay attention. He just turned a blind eye and let this lady control because he didn't have a connection with his daughter. And that's a travesty when the courts keep giving the children to parents that don't even know the children, don't even care about the children. They work all the time, and then the people who left home just abuse the kids. This is the second story like that because Miss Tiffany Moss did that back then with little Averyauna Moss back then. Okay, so this story evidently was back in 2018 because the body was found May 15, 2018, so it happened back then. Okay, let's see. Okay, that's it. Let me just do the story now. I think I covered everything so far. So, deck 9, because I did this yesterday on 2 videos and I wanted to be on 1 video. So let me just pull out. The universe is going to make it come out different, I know, because I didn't hear the cards in order like I had them yesterday, so it's going to come out different, but it's still the same story. It's just going to come out a little different. Maybe God wanted different, I don't know, but it's still going to be really guilty. So however it come out, you know, it's going to come out. Let's just flow. The universe, it is, what time? I'm going to say the time. I'm led to 6:48 in the morning. Okay, let's flow. Today is what? Wednesday morning. Okay. Something could have happened on a Wednesday morning as far as they was playing lottery for a chance at winning. Ears was for hearing for Mr. Anderson, for him to hear, because ears was for hearing. He heard different times his baby crying, his wife fussing at his baby, and everything else. He heard that. That's just fine. Because right here it says right here that relations to not wanting her as a woman. So some kind of way maybe he didn't want his wife as a woman. Follow me? So they might have had marriage problems somewhat. Okay, so he was a Kingston. He wanted to supersize, and he did because he had 2 jobs and he was going to college, right? So we have it's going to be justice for sure, and it was justice for sure against people who didn't look like little Carly. Follow me? Because Miss Enoch is a black lady, and the father is whatever he is. I don't know what he is, Hispanic or what he is. But the baby is a mixed baby. So all of them is different. Follow me? So it says right here that he had to build a path, but he needed to proceed with caution and check on his baby, in which he didn't. And that would be little Cali. Blaming things on being adopted, because sometimes it could be a monster. So the baby was given to the father. That's what you call adoption. Taken from the real mother and given to the father is called adoption. With this card in the storyline, given to somebody else, right? And it's being blamed on giving the baby away. The baby died from being given away, right? Because giving the baby away caused the death of this baby. Get what I'm saying? It became a monster. Get what the card's saying? Okay? The baby was saddled down at the fortress. Get what it's saying? At that house, in that cage, in that storage unit, in that trunk of the car. Get what it's saying? Or we got Miss Enoch felt she was saddled down at the fortress where she felt she couldn't get out. But no, I feel it might not be her because she was drugging it all the time, sleeping all the time. So she seemed like she was doing pretty good. She is thinking. And it says right here that she's going to feel her feelings because it was her feelings, right? She's going to let her sounds be heard loud and clear. So she probably did some talking, bossing around of the house or the kids of her husband, right? But her husband needed to be groomed to what God created him to be because he had deep feelings inside. One of them had some kind of skin disorder, whatever it is. Freckles, pimples, dimples, whatever. Scars, burns, moles, eczema, whatever. Tattoos. The mother, the father, the baby, whoever in that house. Why you worry about my sex life? So some kind of way. They was dealing with sex life some kind of way. Follow me? Relations not wanting her as a woman. If you on drugs all the time and drugged out, pretty much maybe you not wanted as a woman. You know what I mean? So, or this card could go with in jail. Somebody might don't want her as a woman, or somebody coming on to her at jail or anything like that, bothered about her sex life. We can take it another way. Or his. Okay, it says right here that little Cali existed for a bigger reason than what they thought. Right? Follow me? But also I'm going to take this to the biological mother because it stemmed from her not being in her proper place, position. That's why the baby was there. And this for you, biological mother. You exist for a bigger reason than what you think, God says, right? I'm ready to be guided to my path. God wants you to get to this point in your life to be guided to your path. Because you owe it to little Cali. She paid a big price for you to get to your path. Get what I'm saying? Because God said you exist for a bigger reason. The baby paid a big price for you to be led to your path. Get what I'm saying? There's no time for no lacking from you, right? Okay? Live the best life by getting healed from what happened to little Cali, for recovery for a brighter future, because God got plans for you because you exist for a bigger reason. And God said plant your vision. Right? Follow me? So also the father was planting his vision. These are light green. But maybe the Miss Enoch, if I'm saying it right, was groggy because she is drugged out all the time. Or maybe baby Cali was. Follow me? So we have right here, I'm making a change. Believe what you wish. I feel this is the biological mother changing up her life back then. So it says right here that I'm bruised, but I'm still me inside. You're going to be calm and conquer this thing. So you had to be calm and conquer this thing because you was going to fill out some kind of applications or anything like that to get happy. So if this is not the biological mother with these 3 cards right here I just said, that would be for the father. Follow me? Okay. But universe says that somebody, the biological mother, or even the father, needed to make arrangements for little Cali to get out of that camp, get out of that house, right? But also after she was killed, they made arrangements for her to get out of that camp. They took her out. They wanted her out of the house then because her body was smelling. They was tired and they were scared or all this stuff then, but nobody wanted to take her to the hospital because that stepmother of hers was a shark, Miss Enoch. She couldn't control herself in her own skin. They like green. Follow me? She might like fashion. Follow me? Depression don't last a lifetime for the biological mother. God said you still have life, right? And after a while, you got to choose you and decide to choose you. So that happened 2018. So that means this 2023 right now. So hopefully you chose you like God says to get on the right path. Because God said you exist for a bigger reason than what you think. If all could pick greed, they would pick no nonsense lessons. This would be for the father, Mr. Anderson, working 2 jobs. That's greed as far as God concerned. Because God feel 1 job is sufficient. Follow me? Little Cali wanted sensitiveness and softness from the stepmother and also from her father because it was time for her father to act and promise himself he would act and give the baby softness, sensitiveness, and it was time for the stepmother to act to give the baby that also. Follow me? So it says right here, no growth comes from the same sex. So this could be a jail card with the stepmother in jail or the father in jail, right? Or it could just be the stepmother out here before she went to jail, or the man out here before he went to jail. One of them could have been gay before they went to jail, or some kind of way in jail, because we got the same sex card. No growth comes from the same sex, but your choices are your own, God says, right? Because right here, it says right here that somebody spent the tables on the other person, and it was repercussions. So I can change this same sex card around to the baby. I can make it all kind of ways. And Miss, what's her name? Miss Enoch. And say because the baby was a little girl and the stepmother is a female. So no growth comes. So I can turn this card around and make it another way. No growth comes from the same sex. So she didn't get a baby love, attention. Because both of them female, she didn't get a baby love or attention. So it made no growth came where the baby could grow because she didn't give none. And God says her choices was her own. Get what God's saying? It was repercussions because she spent the tables around on the baby. It was repercussions putting her in a cage or whatever she did because it was choice words. And the baby had some defeat. Little baby Cali, follow me, or in jail. We can put this with jail with her or baby Cali. Take it however it goes, right? So it says right here, God show me the way. That's a praying card. Look on the floor for it. So at that time, at one point, baby Cali was on the floor. And then they doing praying then because look on the floor for it. What's on the floor? Baby Cali. Follow me? Unfortunately, something didn't smell right. And that would be baby Cali. Get what I'm saying? So we have parents should not walk away. This is baby Cali card. Parents should not walk away. Her mother wasn't in her life, the biological one, I mean. And then the father, he kept running to work. So both her parents was out of the space to take care of her, to protect her. Parents shouldn't walk away. You always supposed to be there for your children. Both of them. Both of them was not in place, and they had some stranger, because this lady was a stranger, as far as I'm concerned. Watching the baby, caring for the baby. And majority of the time, strangers not going to love your children like you love your children, if you even love your children. Where the baby was left with, I want to know who born me. So she want to know her real mother, and she want to know this father of hers, right? And she was stuck in between a rock and a hard plate because she didn't get to know who her father was because he stayed working. And she was in the cage and he just left her there and he barely went in the room to even see his own daughter. So she didn't know. And she couldn't get to know her mother no more because she's stripped from her mother. Okay? She wanted this stepmother of hers to take down the walls for love, care about me, love me, feed me, cheer on her achievements, look at some good things about me. Stepmother. Get what I'm saying? I'm talking for the baby right here. But also in jail, somebody might want the stepmother or the father to take down the walls for love. Right? Get what I'm saying? Or she might want her husband to take down the walls for love and cheer on her achievements, however it's flowing. Or her husband might want her to do it if they had problems with their sex life. Because she wanted a checkmate for a peace treaty or her husband or the baby or somebody in jail, right? Because she broke the baby up like a twig on a tree, little Cali off. And he did also when he ignored her, but she did when she didn't feed her. Because you know what comes from not feeding and giving water, you will die. Follow me? Or in jail. Somebody breaking her off like a tree, a twig on a tree, or her husband, however it's flowing. Right? So I say things starting to change. So some kind of way things were starting to change in their household, whatever it was, right? Or in jail. Because she need to have a wise mind. And don't go on fast like a sailor back then. Because she wanted full reign submission out of little baby Cali, docile, and out of her husband. Because it seemed like she wore the pants in that household. This is another household that's wearing, the woman wearing the pants. When is these men going to put their pants back on? Because she needed to do things in decency. Because something she thought was laughable. Okay? He needed to chalk it up as a loss and move on. It mean give his baby to one of his family members because he knew different things was happening with his baby. If he wasn't there to care for his baby, he needed to give his baby to one of his family members. Stop trying to be the man. You're not there caring for your baby. He is talking to somebody from a car, in a car, or that would be Mr. Anderson or his wife, Miss Enoch. He was being jacked up, or Miss Enoch was being jacked up in jail or anything like that, or being asked for money, anything like that, or out here before they went to jail. His wife was asking her for money, jacking him up for money, begging for money all the time for her drugs, or anything like that. Or maybe asking the biological mother for money, trying to get money out of her or whatever. But it says all three of them needed to learn to love themselves. Biological, stepmother, and that father, all of them need to start to love themselves. So one of them was scaling things out for a rosy summer out of one of these people. The father, Mr. Anderson, or the biological mother. It was no more time for that, God says, because the biological mother had to be responsible for herself and get back in the mama position, the mama bear position, to be able to care for a baby. Mr. Anderson, there was no more time for lack, we know, for him, because he kept running to work and doing different things but ignoring his daughter. But he didn't have a bond with her, so it wasn't like she was important to him. He was just as bad as his wife. He just as bad as his wife. When you're around and you do nothing, you're as bad as the person who do it. It's like you doing it yourself. Okay? So it says right here, you can tell with him disposing of his baby, show you how much he cared about his baby, and he didn't love his child. Period. Period. I'm telling you. She didn't and he didn't either. And that's a fact. I could say the biological mother loved her child, but she didn't love herself, and she needed to learn to love herself, and then she could fully love her baby, so she could care for her baby. But these two people, they didn't love the baby. Neither wanted that stepmother, Miss Enoch, and this father, Mr. Anderson. Nah, they need to be responsible for themselves, and he was going to be responsible for himself because he kept running out, going to work, looking at what was going to make his life better, and the baby was left home with that monster. Okay, he went full force to grow his business, and it just simply means for him going to work, making money. Follow me? So it says right here that when you lose a spouse to death, you are free. So some kind of way they got a divorce, they broke up or anything like that, or they was having marriage problems, something was going on. Right? Heal your soul by coming forward. He need to sit and talk about the situation, or she do. His wife or him. Because it was transparent. His wife looked at little baby Cali as a liability. She didn't want that baby around. And he also looked at baby Cali as a liability. Get what it's saying? Okay, so it was a carbon copy of what happened before. So this lady starved the baby before, beat the baby before, or whatever, something repeated. And he knew it, right? Child Protective Services knew something because they was called out or they came out. So they knew something was a repeat because something, they've been to that house before. Carbon copy. Get what I'm saying? It was an Esha. It's obvious. Somebody knows something, right? And they know that they came out to that house before, or different family members or somebody knew something and they said whatever, but, you know, nothing was done. This baby was left there to be murdered because that's what happened. Obvious, somebody knows something. And who know what? The father know that he is leaving his child there, even though this lady was beating on his child, starving his child. Man, ain't no way in the world you want to tell me you can't see that your baby weighs 16 pounds and she is a 5-year-old. My son was 10 pounds and something at birth. Now, I said at birth. I didn't say 5 years old. Now, your baby was 16 pounds. 5-year-old. Man, don't tell me you didn't see that your baby was teeny and weeny. Like she from a third world country. Don't tell that lie to me, mister. That mean you ain't even going there to check on your baby. You left your baby inside the bathroom in that cage and you just stayed away. You just blocked it out and ran to your job. You made your jobs and your college so important and left that baby in there like that baby was just a piece of trash on the floor. You just as bad as that wife of yours, her drugged up self. So she in jail, and hopefully she don't get no drugs from nobody so she can live her life regular, so she can think every day on what she did. Okay? Because jail gonna make her wake up. She ain't gonna be able to do all this sleeping like she was doing home. She being able to sleep all day long. No, jail is gonna make it where she gotta be up. You not me sleeping all day in here. It's work to be done. It's time to be served, miss. You not gonna have the luxury of sleeping all day and drugging all day. Because you gonna have to answer to somebody in jail. You might didn't at your house because your husband was letting you wear the pants. But you ain't wearing the pants in there, believe me. Follow me? Next card is what? Yeah. He is making a pocket full at the fairgrounds at work. He will stay being at work all the time. And here's the last card. This is a shortcut card when you're taking shortcuts and riding or walking somewhere. And also somebody patting on a female trying to see how far they can go. They might have had marriage problems because if she's drugging all the time, you can't really do anything with somebody all drugged out. You need a woman who in with this thing. You can't have, if you're trying to do something with a woman who's full of drugs, you can't get nowhere with her. So I don't know if he is trying to, their marriage was kind of messed up and she pretty much was drugged up all the time and he barely got romance, or this could be at jail. Somebody making moves on one of them to see if they can go all the way. Get what I'm saying? Anything like that. So that would be for this couple here. This would be for Mr. Tyler Anderson and Miss Enoch, if I'm saying it right, and baby Cali Anderson, who was murdered because she was starved to death. That means murder. She was starved to death. Who would be so cruel? You being on drugs, that disconnects you. When you get on drugs, you get on alcohol or anything like that, you are selfish. You disconnect yourself. People try to say because you on drugs or think because they was on drugs or whatever, that's an excuse. That ain't no excuse. You intentionally took yourself away from being responsible for your child and loving and caring for your child. I can see if we talking about paying a phone bill, we talking about feeding your child. So no, that's selfish. That's a selfish act. When we got grown people is full of drugs, full of drinking, when you know that you need to be responsible. You don't get the right to take yourself out of the real world, the real reality, and just go over here and escape and just leave all your problems and your worries and all to other people. Or it happens like the baby just died because you just don't even take care of her. Both of you put together, put more work in to getting rid of the baby's body than you did when the baby was alive, doing anything for the baby. Both of you put more work in getting rid of the baby than when the baby was alive, doing anything for her. Because she was just in a cage in the bathroom the whole time, or whatever was going on there, and not fed. You gave her more attention dead than alive. He trying to do CPR. I don't know if she called 911 or what y'all did, 911 or what you did. But after that, putting in the duffel bag, all these plans, all this stuff, y'all gave her all this attention after death to cover your hide. Not because you cared about her, because she gone now. Oh, so you won't get in trouble. So it shows that nobody was insane here. None of you was insane. You woke up just enough to be able to give details and tell your husband just what to do to get the baby out of the house. You woke up in time for that. Enough for that. You were sober enough for that. I don't feel sorry for you, Miss Enoch, or whatever your name is, and Mr. Anderson. I don't feel sorry for you. You're not no victim here. Little Cali is the victim here. Being stuck with these parents that she was stuck with, that she had no chance out of really none of her parents, even her biological mother, because she was taken from her. So she had, this little baby didn't have no chance because of social service. These places won't give the baby to somebody else, another family member or somebody else in the family. The baby has no chance. They stuck where they stuck at, and that's a shame. That's a real shame. So that's why I say people need to get the fullest, whatever the law have when they do things to children like this. Because this baby deserved to be here, thriving and outside playing with the little children during the summertime. She should be out there having a good time. She should be able to have her healthy weight, the weight she's supposed to be as a 5-year-old. It wasn't fair to her that she was mistreated like that. So it was 2 other children there too. But they wasn't mistreated like a little baby Cali. She was in some dog cage in the bathroom like she an animal or something. And the other children moving about. These ladies got to stop being jealous of a man having a baby by another person, or children coming to live with him or whatever. You need to get a divorce and go about your business then. Stop taking things out on the babies. And I'm tired of you men running to work overtime for these women that ain't hitting on nothing, that don't deserve to be taken care of, that you let them wear the pants in the house. It's time for you to be a man. Be a man. Be a man. This the Brass Love One.